Assalamu alaikum Gambia. Man la seen doomi réew nag di jéem sama ñu gën maa xàmmee ci sama nag ma yàgg ci aar bi lool baax ci artiste bu ne nag ndeysaan dëggal bu ne ci Gambia fii nu xam ma ci jéem sama may toroxal sama di jooyal sama yaakaar ne nag dama leen bëgg a indi daal beneen déef ci kàttanu yàlla waa beneen déef fay ñëw si biir dem ba bii di ñëw nii ci kàttanu yàlla on the 8 dama leen bëgg a indi daal déef bu bees bett leen nag si loo xamante ni fogeewu leen ko woon si déef yaakaar naa ne war leen ñuy indi télé yu bees yoo xam ne day ànd ak sanse yu bees sama yu bees façon yu bees ay feem yu bees ay kale yu bees ñëpp nag ñu waajal ko si kàttan yàlla di ñaan yàlla fekkee ko jàmm di dem ba on the 8 dina métti de te dina diis si ñun de waaye nag kenn du ci am diis ndax déef daa ñëw ak télé yu bees di fas yéene pour dëggal Gambia beneen déef nag yaakaar naa ne den maa xamoon ci déef maa ngi ñëw waaw spécial am télé nag ànd ceeg Gambian télé xam nga loolu daal neex sotti ceeg def ci la saa yu sottee neex kon dama ne teg leen fa seen Barrow ba on di ngeen di dem kon defal leen kenn du ci am bye bye spécial
Welcome to the Gospel Avenue Show on the Gambian Talents TV, brought to you by Rebecca Ngazi. The Gospel Avenue Show aims to address current issues that are affecting our daily lives, such as relationship, marriage, addiction, lifestyle, and a lot more from a Christian perspective, as well as promote the gospel through dialogue and engagement with the general Christian fraternity. The Bible says in John 13:35, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, as you love one another." And this is exactly what we will do on this show, make Christ known through our interactions. Our weekly TV show will be aired every Sunday from 1600 hours to 1700 hours on our 7 different mediums: GT website, Facebook, Wazi TV, SoundCloud, YouTube, just to name a few. To sponsor this show or be part of the live audience, please contact 7833-524, 7833-524, or 3750-731, 3750-731, or email us on gambiantalents@gmail.com. Remember, this is the first of its kind. We will feature latest Christian events. Be part of this phenomenal advent. Be part of kingdom building. Gospel Avenue with Rebecca Ngazi, only on Gambian Talents TV.
Take it from a kid. Mimfamang hanifan tuwaja. I'm getting it all is so dualeja. I'll be need lab. Ya dualeja. I'll say Jaburjam. Ndul kabi freedom of space te bualeja. Dual bela dua du bual be bua. Allah bolan esti Gambian dream brikama boyo. Ndul kanna kuoleke. It's all about Gambian Talent TV. Tune in direct. Ala GB. Stay tuned. Mimbe kidding Gambia. Mimbe kidding Gambia Bantala. Gambia. Look.
good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us or listening to us from. You are following the Gambian Talents TV. This is your host, Pa Usman Juf, on a special program that we will be having with you guys. It's going to be a special day. We are very glad to be here with you once again to bring you a special program. And today we have a special guest in the person of lawyer Sarjo Barrow, a US-based Gambian, of course, an attorney, somebody that is doing very well in, of course, supporting our community, in representing our community, doing a lot of things. We are proud of him, a young man. He is not a stranger on this platform because we have hosted him multiple times and several times. Anytime something happens that, of course, affects our community, we will bring him on board. Of course, we are all aware of how the world is going right now. It's not a joke. It's not a hoax. It is real. It is happening. We are seeing how immigration is affecting the world. Just earlier this week, on Monday, in the Gambia, the European Union ambassador to the Gambia, of course, organized a media press breakfast where different media houses were invited, including our own platform. And we engaged the ambassador and asked him several questions, including the one that talks about immigration and how our people are being deported from Europe. Few months ago, he had a press conference in which the ambassador to the Gambia, European Union ambassador to the Gambia, announced that the European Union will start to send illegal migrants out of Europe, those who have exhausted every mean, legal and otherwise, have no reason to stay in Europe. And Germany, of course, is where most of those migrants will be coming from. That interview is right there on our page on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. You can watch it live from there. We are not going to play it because we don't have a lot of time. Right now, what we'll be discussing is specific to the United States. Will some of what we talk about apply in Europe, to Europe and other continents? Most definitely. Here to help us break it down is lawyer Sarjo Barrow. For the past 2 years, since President Donald Trump took over the White House here in America, we have seen how things have been going. He did his campaign mostly on immigration. He was very powerful. Immigration was a key in his campaign. Since he took over in 2016, he has been trying to put this to test. In his first 30 days in office, he came up with a travel ban, of course, which has been challenged in a lot of courts. He also came up with several other policies that affects immigrants. And right now, we've seen earlier this week what happened between himself and, of course, the Democratic congressional leaders, in which they talked about different things, and he was asking for the money that he wants them to give him. He threatens to shut down the government if they don't give him the $5 billion that he is asking for. Now, us the Africans, the world does not definitely affect us, because I don't think we come to the United States through the wall or through the southern border. But yes, there are indeed some policies that affect us as immigrants in the United States. Here to help us make sense, to unpack all of this for us, is immigration lawyer Sarjo Barrow. Good evening, sir, or afternoon.
Good evening, Paul, and thank you for having me.
We are talking about U.S. immigration policies. This is not your first time coming to this platform. We have discussed a whole range of issues over the years, since before we even have the TV, when it used to be just a radio, where we talked about a lot of things. And the policies have changed since Donald Trump took over from President Obama. What are some of the key changes that took place, policies that Donald Trump is trying to implement?
Well, several. I start to catch up between Trump and then the then Attorney General Jeff Sessions. But prominent among them was in 2017 when he started with the 8-country Muslim majority ban from entering, and then reduced the number of refugee. When I say refugee, referring to people who are outside the borders of the U.S. trying to come here lawfully, and they reduced their quota. And then, of course, DACA, what Obama actually introduced, and then the ban on DACA, and then TPS status for Haiti and other countries, and then he phased that out. And then, in addition to that, now the most talk about that affect our most Gambian, Senegambian, let me put that way, is the new INA 204, the public charge, the proposed public charge rule, and then. That's something that would affect us, and then the new I-693 immigration medical exam for green card that ought to be done, what we are used to, and then it's not the same way now. That's something that would affect our community a little bit. And then the internal, when he, reversed courses from then administration. Under the previous administration, Obama deported a lot of illegal immigrants, but mostly felons and then people who are considered security risks or danger to the community. And then for the better part of a decade or two, what most African Gambians, we've been enjoying the quote and unquote the unofficial policy of even with a final order of removal, as long as you don't commit any crime, you're working, you're reasonably safe. We can put it that way, even though we know you are here contrary to the law. And then Trump reversed that, and then he focused more on internal arrest. And then, of course, the chaos that's happening in the southern borders right now, the fact that the family separation, and then designating only a few ports as a port of entry in terms of asylum seeking, and then any other place you come through, you can apply for asylum, even though those things we are challenged in court right now. So as we speak, we don't know where that would turn out, and then, what would happen. And then I think the only other major thing that could affect us would be the supplemental DS 5535 that is introduced, additional security questionnaires for people who actually file for their family members. They go for visa interview in Dakar. They would see that embassies would email them back, ask them this information, ask you about every telephone number you ever got or had in the past, and then social medias, Instagram, any other name, like things that you feel unreasonably uncomfortable, talking about, and then they start asking all those things. I think those are the things
so if your Facebook name is Berekunto, like wala bundu patras, you are expected to give this if you are like applying for benefits with U.S. immigration. Is that what you are saying?
Well, yes, because here is the thing. The problem is not disclosing it, and then it's cutting up in a lie. And then, if they found that, you misrepresented or omit something that you are affirmatively required to do so, now you are facing some inadmissibility bars in terms of immigration laws. Or if it come out in the future, yeah.
So if your name, if Facebook name is Ndohmutoy, if U.S. immigration is interviewing you or you having to apply any benefit from them, you're supposed to let them know that Ndohmutoy. If they ask you if you have ever used any other name, you're supposed to mention.
Yeah. No. Now what they do, they give you this new form. It's called it's a supplemental questionnaire, 5535, DS55, State Department form, and then that would in fact solicit those things. Every social media account you ever used. Okay. They ask for it. Every social media account, every telephone number, that was secured in your person. They want you to provide it.
So in our situation, for example, where we have personal accounts and we also have business accounts, we supposed to provide let's say I will provide the Gambian Talents account as well as the Pa Usman Juf account. Is that what's going to happen?
That's interesting because it depends. If Gambia Talent is a legal entity, meaning it's a registered entity, and then I don't think that would be considered personal. So I don't necessarily think that you have to provide that. Even though, of course, if I would like, look, I'm a board member to this thing, and then they have XYZ as a social platform, but it doesn't mean you have to provide that. I'm not gonna. I would advise against it, but we would be forthcoming, let them know that maybe you're part of. Affiliated with something else, but not necessarily provide them with that information, because there could be some legal issues there. That would be a little bit clouded, because if it's a legal entity and then Supreme Court says corporations are people, so technically that's not you. Gambia Talent is a person, so I would provide personal account. Yeah.
Woto mbela moy nyola nyoko digandor, anybody going by the name ndox mu toy wala berekuntu wala wawkong wala forohtol el salonko. This is the situation. This is additional information that you will be required to actually give to your advantage. It is important that we know these basic things. Mr. Barrow, to fast forward, earlier this year in February, we've seen about 45 Gambians were deported back to the Gambia. That mass deportation. That was the only one we had. Are Gambians still being deported from the United States? Or is it that after the public outcry that has ceased and no Gambian is being currently deported from the United States? Because I just mentioned how the EU ambassador said that Gambians and Africans and immigrants, illegal immigrants, will be deported from Europe. That's what the EU ambassador said. So are Gambians still deported out of the United States, or that has ceased?
February was a dark chapter in our book for most Gambian, because that took us by surprise. In terms of the country, for Gambia, as a country, most people were not prepared for that mass removal, and I hope that would be the last of it. But I'm not going to sit here and say that people are not being removed, and then that would be a misinformation. Yes, still now removal happen in our community, just like every other community or every other country that is facing it. Those of us working around, it. The only thing I like about it right now, and then I know it affects families and others, but the fact that people are not making it as a talking point. It's newsworthy in the sense that if you're in Gambia, I'm not going to deprive legitimate news outlet from reporting things like this. Like, if you're in Gambia, it's something like a cause for concern. If your citizens are coming back, what kind of programs do you have for them? But I would rather, people have it, put a positive spin on it. We don't see them as deportees, but people, returnees, our resident citizens who are coming back, and then put a positive spin on it and then help them integrate. But it's actually happening, and it's unfortunate. And then hopefully it would not be as it was in February, March of this year.
From a legal perspective, a lot of people have been blaming the government, and until this minute, even the young people that have been deported from Germany, people that went through the back way and have been denied, like the ambassador said, that exhausted all legal means and need to be sent back home, are actually blaming the government for this. It's for issuing travel documents and facilitating their return by issuing travel documents. Is the Gambia government, or will any government be doing, are they doing anything wrong by cooperating with these Western countries and giving a travel document to their citizens, or for their citizens to be sent back?
From a legal standpoint, if someone exhausts every possible avenue, due process of law has been given. And then, in fact, I would say my point would be, strictly from a, detaching emotions from it. I would say your country owe you that legal obligation to make sure they help you go home, rather than, languishing here. For me, my argument would be, yes, your country should actually help if there are all the required documents to go back in dignity. That's what I would, in fact, argue. And then if I were in the Gambia and then a family comes to me and then says that, hey, my son or daughter exhaust all their legal means of staying over there, and then we provided all the information, and then the government is not providing the right paperwork for them to come, I could possibly, from a legal standpoint, I would rather file a suit against the government. Because I would, it goes both ways. Citizenship, governments has responsibility for our citizens. In as much as, it's your job to, help your citizens, it's the same time, during tough times or difficult time, one of the privileges of being a national or a citizen of a country is during hard time, you have someone at your back that would help you. It might not be the best news, but to me, I looked at it legally. Yes, they have a legal obligation. I expect them to comply. Now, I know it sounds a little bit harsh and cold, especially for someone, let's say a family in Gambia. We are all from there, and then we understand how difficult it is. To me, the blame, people put the blame at the wrong time, you know, and then I would rather blame my government for not providing me the tools to stay home rather than, you know, doing something they are obligated to do to bring me back home. Because if the right tools were there in the first place, maybe I would only travel for leisure or because of luxury. That's where, you know, we should address that, you know, but after the fact, like saying that, oh, people spend all these things. And then to me, it's like a client walking to my office and then tell me the extra. I'll be like, I'm sorry, but you don't have any relief under the law. Am I to be blamed? You know, I'll be like, that's just what it is. You understand? And then it's just like, you know, in Gambia, we are going through a constitutional, you know,
review process,
amendment or review or whatever you want to call it, depending on. Let's all agree it's even legit we are doing that. People there's a huge debate about citizenship clause, who ought to be a citizen. All these things, you know, measures, the government ought to do this, or, you know, birthright. Well, if you are obligating your government to do something, so it comes the other way, because every citizen has a right, and then the government has the obligation to all her citizens. So let's say for some of us, if I said, no, I don't think the government should, you know, at least respect or, you know, upheld some of, you know, her duty under international, you know, instrument to take responsibility for her citizens. And then let's say we all turn a blind eye. Oh, don't let them come back, you know, because the remittance. I mean, I understand all those things. You cannot turn again and then argue that, oh, our government is violating our freedom of speech. If you want to demonstrate, democracy doesn't work that way. So, you know, you are either a Democrat or you're not, period.
Yeah, but what some people are arguing is that, of course, if they are criminals, they can be sent home. Some people were really not criminals from what is being said. They just violated some immigration laws here and there, and of course the government could help. And according to what we've heard the government said, from when current Vice President, then Foreign Minister Lawyer Usainu Dabo said, is that they are working diligently to make sure that they are only issuing travel documents to people that are considered criminals. So some people are saying they are not criminals and they are sent home. So are you saying that just by you exhausting your immigration or legal means and you are on deportation or you are inadmissible, that is a good enough reason for you to be sent home?
No, that's not me. That's the law. And then if you are here contrary to this is the funny part is, I genuinely believe, and I sincerely believe 95% of Gambians, you know, that are actually even returned home, I don't think they are criminal aliens. You know, the only thing is they don't have 1 or 2 status here. You know, some of us who worked in this area, you know, that is not to say that, you know, we don't have certain things happening, but I'm not going to go there. But I know overwhelmingly majority of Gambians, they just go home because they don't have paperwork. Now, to us, you know, from an outsider, from a Gambian perspective, we think of this as, oh, it's just you are here without paperwork, immigration. The funny part is, you know, if you go, people who are in removal proceeding, and then you are looking for relief, and then where discretion matters, one of the most negative factors that can affect you is violating immigration laws. These are serious consequences. You know, they might not be criminal. You know, there are some, you know, re-entry bars. There are criminal statutes dealing with immigration too, but there are most part, you know, the civil counterparts where people, you know, just voting here illegally or just crossing the border illegally. You know, to us, it's just like, but I haven't committed any crime. It's actually a crime. Those things matters. And I'm telling you, when it comes to discretionary relief, they weigh heavily. Some of the arguments that I even have, like even asylees where discretionary relief matters, where, you know, it becomes a tie. The argument, Your Honor, you know, XYZ, Sarjo entered the country lawfully. He was inspected and admitted. Yes, he overstayed. But regardless of that, he's a productive member of the society working. And those are the things you could say. You don't say they entered illegally across the border. Or if people who you are arguing parole, like, look, Judge, my client arrived at the border, surrendered him or herself at the border patrol. He wasn't trying to sneak in. He surrendered himself. You know, those things, it goes to credibility. And then, I mean, it would be difficult to break this thing down to most people, you know, or even Gambian for us to understand. Because if you are not in the system or you do not understand, to us, we just see crime as, you know, maybe them such a or, you know, you know, but these things, they matter here. And I'm telling you, these are some of the things that, in fact, you know, become a bar to many people in terms of getting paperwork. Because if you overstay, depending on what relief you are applying, it could hurt you. So these things, the government consider them seriously because why? They tie it to national security. Immigration deals with border. They tie it to national security. That's why they are very important.
Okay. By the look of things, a lot of our people seem to have, will I call it negligent or use a different term, seem to have the have an immigration problem where they were involved with immigration, either filed paperwork that they never finished, pursuing somewhat, somehow, somewhere. I mean, of course, those that were here in the 80s, in the 90s, or in the later part of their lives, and that is haunting them. Let's say you applied for asylum or you applied for something else until this minute, and that did not work. You were not granted the benefit that you were looking for. You just left it alone and did not pursue it. Either you were married and you did not pursue that, or you applied for asylum, or you applied for something else and you did not pursue it. And later that catches up with you, that caught up with you. Is that really what is happening? It looks like, because a lot of people have their cases dating back to the 80s or the 90s, or at least during the first part of the new millennium.
Unfortunately, yes. Most Gambian, even Senegambian, the biggest problem we faced or are facing right now is, during the early rift of migration in the U.S., when we have the first wave of Gambians coming here, the country by then immigration is not what it is today. And then people get comfortable, and then there was a lot of fear, and then, scare, I would say reprehension, associated with applying for benefit, in the sense that, if you live in the Gambian community, and then, because we do chain migration a lot, we don't have built houses here. If we are migrating because Pa is in New York, Bronx, he would help me until I stand up, everybody comes. So how you find Pa will determine, or will, somehow shape how your immigration status will be in this country. So if Pa is someone who is vigilant and then is conscious, he doesn't listen to just hearsay and then actually ask, inquire, talk to legal person, more than likely you will, fare off better. But if you happen to, one of those, you just hear something, you don't verify it, and then you just keep adding more on it, more than likely, you would doom yourself. So what happened is people come, and then depending on where, you immigrated to, you find those people doing one or two things they do. Like, let's say, classic case asylum. People, let's say they have credible cases, asylum, file for it, went to the asylum office. And it's not uncommon for cases. I've seen cases, like very good cases, even on paper, and then evidentiary wise, get referred to court, which in my opinion, I'll be like, this ought not to be referred, but I don't know why. Maybe the officer was, not paying attention for whatever reason. I don't know, or they just refer it for the heck of it. Now, case go to Federal Plaza. I remember back in the days, like early 2002-3, in New York, like, oh, no, don't go to Federal Plaza. If you go there, they arrest you, and then you go home. So for somebody, and then that's where the hearings happen, for your removal hearing. So because that's what you hear in the community, and then you believe it, because those are the people, you found on the ground, and then this is what they are telling you. So if they, represent that if you go to Federal Plaza, you get arrested and get sent to Gambia, everyone get afraid. So no one goes. So what we don't know is, in fact, that is more, the consequences of that is far more severe than going there, somehow getting a removal order. Because if you don't go, you end up getting in absentia order of removal, which has a severe consequences, even if you're married here or whatnot. So a lot of people, majority of Africans, this is what happened. They just abandon their cases, no show, no call, get an absentia order of removal. So now when things start getting tough, even with some relief, it becomes so difficult to collaterally attack those removal orders and then open it. Even if there is, some kind of program that come in, and then they might arguably qualify for that. It's getting difficult. And then for majority of these people, you just can't do anything, or you just have to wait out for those mandatory bars to end, or the best strategy would in fact mean leaving the U.S. and at some point in time coming back with waivers if you have strong ties here, and then family ties or whatnot, or some other form of relief. But I think lack of education is what hurt us more in terms of immigration education, I mean.
I cannot agree any better with you. As you already know, and I've shared this story that myself, I'm a victim of that order of removal in absentia for missing a court date. And I have emphasized this on numerous occasions, that we need to try and get authentic information. Because ñun suñ niti hearsay kenn moy gis dara rek dégga dara rek ay finti ay tafo mobe la ko wole be kering. And from the little I know, Sarjo, I think immigration, every immigration case is different. Will you agree? And can you elaborate on that? It's a case by a case situation. What applies to Pa Usman may not applies to Billy, may not applies to Sarjo, may not applies to Ramu or Hadi. Is that case? Or can we just use one person's example to actually make that judgment? Okay, this is immigration.
No, you can. You are absolutely right. Because even though the law applied all of us, it's the same law, but the law looked at everyone as an individual. Your facts and your circumstance might be different from mine. You know, that's why rarely do you see precedent cases in immigration. Everything is just matter of people who go through proceeding, like matter of XYZ A number. You know, they just put your A number because everyone is an individual. It's different. Your family ties, your situation. The law looked at you as a person. And then, so if you wanted to use my scenario, my situation, and then classic case is marriage. People would call me, oh, I am told that, you know, if you get married, everything should be done in 6 months or 4 months, but because X happened in that, so what? And then X could in fact engage in fraudulent marriage, and then everything is fine and fast. And then you who, you know, are engaged in a legitimate marriage took longer. It doesn't mean there's any, that's just immigration. It has nothing to do with you. You know, I've seen it both ways. So it doesn't actually mean that, you know, there's one size fit all kind of theory. No. You know, that's why you could say generally this is how it's supposed to apply, but it doesn't mean if you apply it on individuals specifically, you know, every outcome will be the same.
So Lyndon wax rek dafa am ñoo xamne dañ yaga tukki ñu ñew apply kayit whether dañ dugal sey wala dañ dugal asylum wala any other form of applying for benefit. Some people even dinañ apply ñaari forms of benefit, Sarjo. You apply for asylum and at the same time you apply for marriage. I mean, is that possible? And you trying to get approved with both situations? Those things do exist.
It's possible.
Right?
It's possible, but you wouldn't get, it depends, you know, what relief you are pursuing. You know, you could be a non-immigrant and pursuing immigrant status and still maintaining your underlying non-immigrant status. Now, let's say I arrived in the country and then I left my country because of fear of persecution. So I filed for asylum while asylum is ongoing, because asylum take, you know, until recently when they do the last enforce out rule, it took about, it takes rather about 3 to 4 years average before you get interview, you know, in 2014, 15 going forwards, unless if you're lucky. So let's say, you know, I file my asylum application and then it has been pending for 2 years or so, no interview. And then while that's pending, I happen to get married, and then my wife is a U.S. citizen, you know. I have the, if I want, I can actually withdraw my asylum application and then just have my spouse petition me, you know, for green card right away. But it's completely my choice. But if I want, I can still file my adjustment application, and then the asylum application will be there. And then once, you know, let's say more than likely you will get interview on those, you know, marriage-based petition. Once those get approved, usually I have cases like this. I'll file a notice and then terminate the underlying asylum hearing. You know, I'll withdraw it. Most of the time, I'll just file a motion to withdraw the asylum. But I've seen cases where people actually get asylum, actually get approved asylum, and then it gives you a route to green card. They never pursue that route, get married, and then file green card, get green card through, you know, they still have underlying asylum status, and then they have green card on the other side. So it depends on strategy, and then if you have the financial mean or what your situation is, you know, it depends.
So if you applied for an asylum, let's go to the LULAC. A lot of people, Gambians, applied for the LULAC back in the days. People that knew they were born after 1981. I knew people who actually even would have applied for that, and they were born later than 1981. Supposedly, they were granted work permits and social security numbers, and they were able to travel to Gambia or Africa and come back. But that's about it. The case was pending there. What can you tell us about that? In the first place, can you break down what is LULAC?
Well, LULAC is the name of the lawsuit. It's actually, I believe, a League of United Latin American Citizens. What happened was there was, quote unquote, some kind of amnesty, temporary resident status, during the time of Reagan. So what he does, just like what Obama did when he made that pronouncement for DACA, that people who were here, I think as of June, the cutoff date was June 12, 2007 or something like that, or June 15, 2007, I believe. So LULAC too does the same thing. If you're here, those people who were here from 1980 and then 87 met them here, and then when that presidential proclamation was made by Reagan, they should be eligible to, get temporary resident status and later adjust to permanent resident status. So the requirement is you must be here physically present at the time when that, announcement was made. So what happened was that after that announcement, the enforcement part, people were applying for benefit, and then the legendary INS by then, was turning them down, or for whatever reason, some of them, they would fear of, or misinformation again, because powers applied, they said no. So, it put a killing effect on me, and then I refused to apply. So what ended up happening was this. So this lawsuit was filed for the government to at least, a class action saying that, look, anyone who filed for this relief and then you were denied by INS, or you wanted to file, but because INS, told you that you can't qualify or you wouldn't qualify, now you can apply after the effect of the lawsuit, because the lawsuit happened somewhere, I think, 2005, So people started filing those things, those applications. So what ended up happening is that I remember back in the days very well in 2005, brown people like, oh, Bena program monyo, LULAC. I have no idea what the hell LULAC is. And the people are just applying. They don't even know what they were applying for. So the problem with immigration is you send these petitions and paperwork, and then because you would have to prove entry through your I-94. So let's say I never entered here 80, and then I applied for LULAC, and then on the form I represented that maybe I came through Yonigana. Understand? Mexican Gana, the manyo Yonigana, Axma, Nekanafi, why, but Genana, like, let's say 1990 or 91, why at least I re entered again this time with a visa, but by then I was here, right? So you represented that on the form, you applied, and then, of course, immigration, it takes time before they process this application. So the normal course of action, what happened is, your biometric comes and then your permit comes. Everybody thinks that, oh yeah, like right now it's a done deal. And then the interview times come, or they start issuing RFEs. No one can prove these things. So you start getting denied. The problem is in your A file, now you affirmatively represented that you entered here unlawfully at such and such time, and then you were unlawfully present here. And then you came back again. Even let's say if you re-enter again illegally, you trigger a 20-year bar without even knowing it. So you have now this catch-22. So either you tell them, I lied, which means now you committed immigration fraud. And then you would have to file a waiver, hopefully, it get approved because you don't know any better. Or maybe you had some notary or represent you who doesn't explain to you what LULAC is. I've seen those things happen in adjustment interviews. Some officers, they treat it kind of like, they brush it off, and then some it become an issue. But it comes back because it hurts your credibility. Or even asylum, if you said, oh, no, I just came in this one time. Like what? You filled a form. Okay. You said X, Y, Z. So even if you want to file for a new asylum, now you have credibility issue. So it hurts a lot of people.
So how about those that, okay, after they were called for interview, immigration never followed through with them and they are still here? There are people who whose cases are like that. They are still here. I mean, what is the way forward? What should those people do? You file for LULAC.
Let's say majority of them, because in 05, 06, you don't show up for interview. They just denied for abandonment, And then most of those people were not NTA, meaning they were not referred to court. Okay. So if you are never sent to court, that's good news. Meaning you just have an application or a benefit that's just denied. You have no removal order whatsoever. So let's say if they are eligible for some form of relief, either through family base, like they are married now, or employment or whatnot, you would just apply for that relief. But you would still have to address that, adverse information in your file. So normally my recommendation to most people that had applied for relief in the past and then they don't have paperwork, I ask them, always do FOIA, get your record. That way you know what's there. It's important to know. You'll be surprised. At least
for the benefit of a layman, what is a FOIA request? I mean,
it's a Freedom of Information Act. Basically, what it does is the law authorizes people to actually request some of the information you give to government for them to send it back to you.
Okay.
And then so for immigration, the easiest way for most people, like layman people, just go to uscis.gov, and then there's a form called G639, I believe. And then you complete that, and then put there all record with, if it asks you, what you put there, all record with USCIS, including evidence of, admission or entry. That way they could send it to CBP, ICE, EOIR, and then get everything for you, and then they'll put it on the CD and then send it to you. That way you have every information or every application you ever made with immigration.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We have people in the community sometimes, of course, who are considered the experts. Occasionally, budget is tight, even though so even to pay for an attorney can be a problem. We have people we would consider experts in our midst that would be our attorneys in court, and they help us fill out forms. Yela case deny, nga ñone man mata ñu deny sa case. Is the person that help you fill the form responsible for that, or are you responsible for every information that is on the form?
You are, because if you sign, you certified on the penalty of perjury that you reviewed that application, and then every information there, you know it, and then it was explained to you in a language that you understand, and then you certify that. That's why your signature is saying. So, because immigration want to make so people don't come back and scream, oh, no. I don't know what was in my application. Now, oftentimes what happened is we want to help our brothers and sisters, and then this is what I tell Gambians. If you're helping somebody, you know, one of two things. Don't complete a form for somebody and then not put their, prepared as information like it was prepared by a third party. In case, because we all make mistakes. In case, you made
some people, interestingly enough, even charge for these things. They charge to provide these services. The LULAC that we were just talking about, it was a business for some people.
And then you have to put your name there. That way, if information come or error come, then you could be like, hey, I don't remember telling you this. Oh, it's my mistake. Maybe, if something comes, they could execute an affidavit on your behalf and then let you know that, okay, this is what happened. But many times when they fill these things and then they don't put their preparers information, it's like you completed that form on your own, and then you go to the interview and then you start, oh, no, I don't feel like, well, no one complete these things. Classic example is in Gambia, we all know, only a few people have the luxury of having internet at home. So at least I would say 70 to 80% of people complete their non-immigrant visa application at these telecenters or wherever it is, where they've completed this form. And I can tell you, other than maybe biographical information, your names and others, these people, they do sometimes make mistakes. They just fill forms the way they think, they are filling. Sometimes they don't understand these information. And then I have I have cases, let me put it this way. I have cases where, some information was represented on those forms, either whether those employees were negligent or lack of communication or people are not focusing. Because I witnessed one where, one of my family members had to use this service, and we are sitting there. I never, represented them. I'm a lawyer, completing this form. And the lady was explaining her story, everything, and they were like, oh, no, this is how we do it. And then I just keep laughing.
So
I was I just want to observe.
The person that's doing it was saying, no, this is how we do it.
Yeah, because they just do
it.
that once. Yeah, so, and then I have seen embassies, consular officers would specifically tell, applicant that something happened on the form. No, these people don't make mistake. If they put something there, you ask them to put it over there. You know, yeah. Many people get denied with non-immigrant visa, other than the arbitrary nature of the consular officers. But half the time, the form is inconsistent with what you're going for, and then the officer don't have the time or the luxury to explain that to you. They just look at the form, they find something. If they are nice enough or they want to be civil, they can engage in a conversation and let you know that, oh, XYZ is put it out to you.
So things as little as even how we write the date. In Gambia we write the day, the month, and the year, and in the US we write, day, month, and year. Things like that.
Yeah, those things, all those things matters, because to them, they believe that you review that form and then every information is accurate. So if they see something, instead of alluding it to mistake, because they don't have time, the line is going. So they don't even bother they just give everybody that blanket 214B and then go your way, thinking that it's just lack of time. Sometimes it's not even that. Some people, they keep compounding those mistakes, and then you end up hitting a bar, and you don't know that until some benefit is filed on your behalf. And then now it starts biting you. I've seen those things happen.
Let's talk about that. Applying for a visa at the embassy. Now a lot has changed. I remember when I was coming to Gambia, to the US, you just go to Standard Chartered Bank, you pay the money there, they give you a slip, you go to the embassy and submit your documents, and they give you a date for an interview at the embassy. Now it's different. What's the procedure, and why are so many people being denied visas?
Well, I always tell people, I was like, all the visa applicants that are in Gambia for American Embassy, if we form an asusu and then give, put that $160 together and put it in bank, you would have no idea how much money they could set up their own credit union, and then their life would be better. Because the consular, I don't even think they are issuing 5% of visas to the applicants over there.
And how many are they required?
No, there is no quota. That's the thing. There is no quota for a non-immigrant visa. Okay. For permanent migration, I think the U.S. quote and unquote take 1 million, but I think Congress authorized about 600 and something or 700 and something. But yearly, the ceiling is 1 million people are immigrating, meaning with permanent residency. But for non-immigrant visa, there are no quotas. Okay. But of course, they looked at their budget, they looked at the fiscal policies, even though there is no official limit, but I'm sure they would have some kind of internal mechanism how they control these things. But absent that, Gambia, when I looked at from 2017 to 2018, I think from March to May 2018, the number of visas that were issued by the Banjul Consulate to Gambian citizens is shocking. When I looked at State Department, sometimes student visas especially, they would only issue one.
Really?
One student visa in a month, like one, two. Seriously, yeah. And then these records are there, people could access it. And then I have them in PDF, and then maybe I would just share it on YouTube. People would see for themselves. The only visas they give in Gambia that I saw are, other than the A1s and then A3 or the G1s for officials, that are going for this UN and whatnot. B1 visas, if Gambia is lucky to have a lot of B1 visas issued to Gambian nationals throughout the world with Gambian passports, you are looking at 37, 40 a month. In a given month, like if it's like that, that's like a lot with Gambian passport. At the Banjul consular post, you see something like 27. So it's only B1, B2 visas.
With all the people that apply for visas, they give, less than 30 visas.
Yeah, so that's what you are looking at. So it's insane. When I looked at those numbers, like you go to Senegal, and then I do a comparative, I print out Gambia, I print out Senegal. Senegal would be hitting 200, 300 visas. The Gambia is at 27. I can understand,
what is responsible for that, though?
Well, I guess the consular believe, in their opinion, they think most people don't prove their, non-immigrant visa requirement, in the sense that, they would come back. Maybe that could be the reason. But my thinking is, now I'm telling people, before you do non-immigrant visas, you ought to make sure you put all your cross all your T's and then dotted all your I's, to make sure you don't spend $160 for nothing with all these payment fees and whatnot. And then even with student visas, you can meet all these requirements. I see genuine people who, in fact, have partial scholarships and whatnot, and they would be going to school. Counselor just deny them without much. They don't even review sometimes. I think that's something Gambians should, look into. And they were like, look, we would only apply if we have to. But the kind of money they are raising in Banjul. To me, I believe that that money is, maybe that's half of our money would come back to us at American corner and they make it look like US, because people are actually giving them that money.
So if somebody is going to look for a non-immigrant visa, student or B1, what advice do you have for them? What is the most important thing to consider?
Well, ties to country,
Okay.
you know, but let's say you just graduated from grade 12. Because it's just insane, or it baffles me to think that you would have ties to the country, because you just barely 18, 19. So the only ties you would have, unless if your parents have the source of funding, you know, like if you have parents who are well off, they are the ones sponsoring you, or a close family member, you know, like a direct uncle, not just Gambia, everyone is uncle, but an actual family member who is sponsoring that. And maybe that would, you know, resonate with the counselor, like, okay, the funds are there, or even deposit wouldn't make a difference. But if they see that, okay, this is a close family member, and then they graduated with excellent results, there's a high chance that maybe the parents are educated, that would factor in there. But let's say, you know, you graduated and then be in Gambia for 5, 6, 7 years progressively, and then you haven't done any tertiary institute. You haven't done completely anything. Maybe, you know, you are doing something in the sense that maybe hustling here and there. And then all of a sudden you just get I-20, you want to tell the counselor that you are going to study. And then more than likely the chances of denial are high, because you are, you know, in your home country, you graduated, you have not been productive for the last 5 years. There are tertiary institutes in Gambia where you could have attended, and then none of those things happen. The counselor is not going to give you any visa. Or I'm going for a visit, you don't even have a solid job, or progressively working that work for at least 5, 10 years. And then if, I tell people, even Dakar, if you're going to Senegal, I know we utilize our ID so often. Everybody, you don't need visa. But I tell people, if you're going to Dakar, you are better off using your passport. Let them stamp it. You go to Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, use your passport, let it be stamped. Let the counselor know that you have been traveling. And then coming back to your country. Because IDs wouldn't show those things. Now, the good news is now, some part of the form, if they give you the supplemental questionnaire, I would ask you, within the last 5 years, list every country you have traveled to. At least that gives the counselor. Of course, that there's a security requirement for that too, but at the same time, it advises the counselor, you know, what other places you've been.
So back in the days, I remember it used to be called frequent travelers. Melkatai na all the time. Does that help? You travel to America once, twice. Does that guarantee you to be issued a visa again? Because I have people that have traveled to the US who came to the US once, twice, and then they were still denied, and it is shocking. What do you think will be responsible for that?
Now, before, people enjoy that. If you're a frequent traveler, you come to the embassy and then your passport is stamped so often they give it to you. And then now they deny frequent travelers. You know, I've seen that happen. You know, it depends on the consular officer. You know, nothing is guaranteed at Banjul embassy. That's what I said, like most African embassies. That's how I looked at it. But even Brazil, you'll be surprised how many people get tourist visas coming here and then going back. You know, Peru. You know, when I looked at comparatively to other countries, and then I asked myself, what are they doing that we don't have? Like, do they trust them better than us? You know, but nothing matters. You could have all this qualification, and then they still deny you. You know, and sometimes it's just arbitrary over there. I guess they just believe genuinely the concept that this is what I understand for me. I know that it has politics to do with it more than the law. You know, you have an embassy in a country. If you believe that 90% of us don't meet the requirement to come to your country, why bother even putting those visa requirements? They are robbing us daylight. That's how I look at it. You know, if why even give those visas? You know, and then Gambia, the only thing I saw, we only saw B1, B2. From alphabet level, you have 8 almost, I think, VBs. We don't see any of those things. Like other countries, like maybe our government in terms of, you know, E2, E3, 3D investors. I think our foreign departments would engage or liaise with U.S. department and let them know that, look, maybe you could do E2. There are other Gambians who are, you know, a little bit well off. They could set up investments here back and forth, because we've seen people, you know, they are going and coming, they come on African and whatnot. They do well. They could have done it in the right way, you know, look for, you know, B1 visas strictly, or look for E2, some kind of investment, because now we have a lot of Gambian stores in the U.S. and then that order directly from the Gambia. But those are avenues, you know, they can explore. That way we have those kind of visas available to our people too.
You are watching the Gambian Talents TV. Pa Usman Juf is your presenter. Lawyer Sarjo Barrow is my guest, and we are talking about some of the policies of President Donald Trump and how it affects us Gambians. This show is live. If you have any question for Sarjo, you can send them in. Number to call is 678-608-3322. 678-608-3322. If you are in the US, if you are in the UK, 161-818-7077, 161-818-7077. If you are in Sweden, 08559266651, 08559266651. This is the Gambian Talents TV, and we appreciate those of you that are watching us through YouTube and those of you that are watching us through Facebook. Somebody Ture said, well said, my brother, had it been the right tools were in our disposal back home, no need to come here and toil. Responding to, of course, what Sarjo said earlier, that, of course, a lot of Gambians are traveling because the right tools are not there. Nyanta men sotla na banko kono nyantol ma soto liñ wara am suñ biir de kay amuñ ko motax ñuy génn di ñëw bitim réew di daan doole di modu wala di faatu kon loolu lañ nekk di waxtaane Sarjo suñ jigéen ñi na musol jama kana janne kana futu kana dingo soto. Some of these things Namol Bajilale are sensitive things because I've done immigration discussions in the past and I've been crucified by some people. Muna nebe nyim fola whatever. But ya kumayata lenga nying kacha ñu waxtane yi pour ñu xamut ñu xam. Ndax bari na ñuy joge Gambia ñëw bitim réew ñëw America pour wosin si pour seen doom yi defin ñu wosin rek delluwaat. Ñëwaat te fekka ñu ngi use American hospitals ñu ngi am pending medical bills and the like. Ndax lolu mun na am an impact on us in the long run, or it can be a cause for concern?
Definitely, it has. In fact,
go ahead.
Yeah, and then the most talk about public charge. You know, that was just amended recently. You know, the proposed rule that came out with public charge, getting all these, you know, cash assistant benefit, food stamp, or TANF. Now, let's say even before those things, if you come here deliberately and then give birth and then you don't pay the bills and then the government fund it, even if you have a valid visa, 5 years, you leave. If you're coming back again and then that comes out, they will revoke your visa upon arrival. You know, because you don't need a visa at the U.S. Embassy. But once you arrive at a port of entry at the airport, normally they would just revoke your visa. If you're lucky, they would give you the choice of withdrawing your admission request, go home. That way you don't have any bar. But if you're not lucky, they can put you into expedited proceeding and then remove you right back. And then that would give you a 5-year bar. You know, in addition to that 5-year bar, now you are faced with that inadmissibility bar because you use medical stuff here that you can't pay. So unless you apply for some kind of waiver, it will be very difficult for you to come back here, get a visa. That's one thing. Now, but if you come here and then you have a child, but you were responsible for your own bill or your insurance was responsible for it. And then the reason you came here was not just to circumvent the law, just give birth and then, you know, the child become a U.S. citizen, but because there's a genuine concern for medical issues. Maybe your home country, your GYO advise you of a critical condition. Your pregnancy is somehow complicated or somewhat complicated, and you don't want to take the risks. And then you are someone who has the means, the ability to pay for your own stuff, or you have a powerful insurance. Yes, you can come here and then pay for it because your health is important, your safety is important. There's nothing against that. But if you just come here and then give birth, now in addition to this public charge, it can affect you. You know?
Because I mean, even whether Minister Lembang, President Ola Muso Lembang, a lot of our people Melkanajang, certainly Ebukela Fansum bills, they don't pay for their hospital bills. We come and we register with, I mean, the county, the community health centers, whatever, and we go for our regular checkups until, I mean, time to give birth, and that's it. Bilol Bukajono. That used to be very common, and it still exists. What advice do you have for Musol Melkanajang kana futu wala auto? Kana dingo soto jang?
No more personally, I dingo soto jang because that was. But let's say mbegi na fola. Ni na taje dingo soto. You understand? And yande ko iman bilol jono. Ini dingo murta back home. Nunto ya understand mulka nka menke priority comme ni futata rek dingo wuta jang American you just rush to the embassy ko ke dingo register pour mo yalan ka bata America not knowing that actually they found set up can because in here register mo fen call so that they would flag you it is recall no la fa embassy si call no la fa ina ila visa from revoke you understand yeah so ni dingo so to jang you understand ni murta ni be travel landang woto ni dino be doing hani atra visa be bulite lafta murana within the next 2 years or so in dino Canada and anything me alan ko loptan fengol len jang inene abal fengol don't have any of those things with you because ni at the port of entry say kanyum border search min ke ni nyaaw jere ki balon dal you understand and ni dino mina kan visa te membul America citizen wala mat the first question be ni kala men nyudu da did you pay for it ni ma ke be demurunda dindo way protection so dindo be wacci la yo filia yenana that way or issue kanana but in dindo ta fa be 7-8 years of course what is not reasonable ya for mo ko loptan kayto le mo ko loptan kayto ma bonya you understand so depend tare dinding la age be nyamani wat jimale ko be murana so those are some tough calls in mare nyanta menka because as it affect no o hanne atre wuluta jang e murto and then inata nan koten let's say came a citizen of the file e murto Gambia wuluta jang and then unless he came ala insurance yojo or janino wo kyo kamit fa ite wuluta jande ma any ties so da jay ma bilol jo then it came a file and then it had a Dakar they can still deny you like green card because of this public charge fenkonye yes fenkonye use yeah it's conceivable deny ila husband has to do a waiver pour que and those things can come up because never form of fila ben kala foi dingol so da wala nationality so
exactly I think it is important for us to address this most of the time we don't know these people will not just ask you information just because they want to get information. For the most part, there is a reason for every question on that form. Is that right?
Yes.
There's a reason for every question on the form. So if we are asked, sometimes there are discrepancies or inconsistencies in the way we fill out these forms, Sarjo. For example, if I apply for a visa from the American Embassy in Gambia, and I put there that I am married, I have kids, and all of that, and I come here, of course, I want to get married to another person, and yenyininka on my form, mane musuma say, musuma am jabar, musuma am dom. Is there a recipe for denial?
Yeah, or if you're not careful, in fact, that's borderline fraud, misrep. More than likely, not only would they deny the application, but they can even NTA you. Or if you are lucky, you understand, depending on the service center area mentor, they would just send you a notice of intent to deny. You are inadmissible because of XYZ. And then if you have a lawyer at that time, if you are smart enough, you would just respond with a waiver application right away. But yeah, that could be fatal to the application because it goes to credibility. In fact, Gambia can make a model for most of the time. In a dependent area mentor, they in fact attack the validity of a current marriage in the US because they can argue that that marriage is null and void when the man contract actually because neither ko embassy for monyimbala ifututale and you never declare that ko put one in terminatale that divorce happened. So what end up happening is that if you apply for a relief here or a benefit, you understand it all they argue you are still legally married to the first wife that was on that non-immigrant visa form. So any marriage is not valid for immigration purpose. So they just deny the I-130.
Tu goto ñun ñoko déggandor lu am solo la ñu bari ci ñun dañ dé fogg né dañoo jaay gaaw suñ nekké Gambia we think né jaay gaaw rek mo ñoo mëna génné through certain things sa dafa bay loxom we can talk our way out of situations or we forget very easily paper trail tuba bi su ngeen gisé ñu gom paper dafa am lu xew su ngeen gisé ñuy bëggal lu nekk nga bind ko ci kayit because of things like this la. Of course, you are in Gambia, you applied, okay, you have wife, you have kids. That is going to count as your country ties, Sarjo, right? Okay, ki amna family fofu no ki suñ ko joxe visa su demé dina ñibisi wat. It can work in your advantage fofu to your advantage at the time. But by the time nga ñew America, apparently yaangi bëgga dugal kayit. Mit nga benen goor wala benen jigen ko bëgga séyal. Fofu nonu, what should you do? Silu Sarjo wax, then if you are applying danga need pour submit a divorce certificate pour yow ak sa jabar bi nga amone Gambia wala jëkkër bi nga amone Gambia, right Sarjo?
Yeah, you have to legally end that marriage, otherwise you are setting yourself for failure.
Okay. Kon yena ko dégandor, some of our followers on YouTube actually also made some comments. Seko Kamara said, of course, this is what they always said. They said, who is ever commenting a crime, you will be deported. And even here, if you did not do anything, as far as you are Gambian, they will deport you. that's a big one. They will deport you just because you are Gambian. So, Yusuf Toure said, but before they deported, think you need to reason. So come and say, what I suspect is that they have already taken something from European Union, therefore the deportation will be done. Sekou, this is the same question that we've asked the EU ambassador the other day. I made sure that our reporter told the ambassador to look in our camera and tell the Gambians if the EU has given money to the Gambia government. And the ambassador was laughing, actually, just like you are laughing, Sarjo. The ambassador was laughing. I said, look in the camera and tell us if the EU has given the Gambia government money for you guys to deport our citizens. And yes, the ambassador looked in the camera and denied it. If you want, we can send you the links, the same platforms you are watching us on. Just 3 days ago is when we published this video. The ambassador is denying, is saying that the EU did not give the Gambia government money to deport our people. What happens is they have put together certain things such as the YEP project, I mean the OMF project, and other projects that are geared towards helping Gambians that are deported to be integrated. Pour ni murundi nang su ni nata is a fensote be me mutala. The youth empowerment project is one of them. Ni nata ye domandin dila. It's a juso nyabumenna. Teach them skills, give them loans and other things that they can actually use to integrate back in society instead of just coming there. The tamba ambalu simbe daminono lola ambassador biwa, and that is there. I think he went further to say Barrow government is not coming up, truly speaking. We don't have a president, Bilahi, always sleeping. Whatever comes on his way, based on document to sign, he will sign it on without checking. Now, it's interesting how we put everything on government, Sarjo. Maybe you wanna add one or two things to on that.
No, those are politics. Yeah, I understand it. But this is what I tell people. You understand? Let's in fact agree co EU or even the US, they give money to the government to send our people back. This is what I tell people. You understand? Do not put your cards in the hand of government, saying that the only reason I'm in the US because my government refused to give a travel document. That's the wrong move. You understand? I keep telling people, if that's the only move you have, it's over for you. Yeah. So I don't care how much money you mendi na masakundal. Haniatra million le deal. As long as bijane due process la be followed. If you have a lawyer and then ila rights will may exhaust or you have relief, it is two technology. You know, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Because I seen people, with removal orders, yes, still, we've seen those things happen. Judge will be ice order like a mulmurun then I'm back. So, in terms of the only thing, if you do criminal justice, removal to many Gambians, you understand, in prison system, it began for so long, Bulala in prison the last 3 months, they came out in what they call GP area, rehabilitate, reorient back into the society. So until Menka Mojama Batandi is Gambia even collateral. But the difficult part is coming to terms with reality. I'm coming to Gambia. It's so overwhelming because you're not prepared for it. So that counseling part, that's in fact what's more sympathetic to me. They don't have a game plan. They don't have a plan as to how in like Americans when they are getting older they do estate planning for their end of life funeral thing until we just see ourselves in things and then it becomes difficult to handle it. What I tell people, some people, and these are the realities, you have to assess yourself. Sit with an immigration lawyer. If I see in my case under the current laws there is no other way because maybe I hit a mandatory or permanent bar. You have two options. On the previous administrations, internal arrest in crime, people are not removing people back. So what you do like this new administration, reporting this is what I would ask myself. Do I want to take the chance in somebody detention or 4 or 5 months, or would my game plan be I'll prepare for any day I can go to Gambia? That would be my fallback. But when they come after me, I'm not going to make it easier for them. But I need a travel document sort of fine, You understand? Or I am not going to waste 3-4 months in detention for something. I can be productive somewhere in Bangkok. I'm not going to wait for that. But you have to have that contingency plan. And this is the real life.
In other words, I mean, you can start sending things. What you are saying makes a lot of sense. Sarjo. Of course, I was in detention with him. He was my roommate. A Gambian was my roommate in the jail 10 years ago, immigration detention. Earlier this year, some 6 months ago, he was sent back to the Gambia. It was just, he just went to report, and he never came back home. This is somebody that is very responsible, working hard, making money, has a credit card, over $30,000 credit card that he was paying very regularly. He was on top of his game on a lot of things, and honestly, it's not that he has a criminal charge. Of course, like you said earlier, he's exhausted his immigration options, legal options, and he was just here. Every year renews his work permit and works, pays his taxes. He went to report every year, or every 6 months, however much. But when the changes happened, he was sent back to the Gambia. It was shocking. He has a car here that he could have sent back to the Gambia. He has, unfortunately, he wasn't married or has kids, but he has a car, he has an apartment, he has several other things here that he could have used. When I talked to him the last time, he told me, my credit card, I don't even mind genuinely to have used it to purchase merchandise, to start up something in Gambia. I will be in Gambia and still be paying for this credit card. But because he was in jail for the amount of time that you said, for 5 months or 6 months, whatever, apparently he wasn't making the payment. By the time he was going back home, the credit card got cancelled. This person got to the airport in Gambia and has to even borrow a phone to try to trace family members. It was shocking. It was sad for him. He lost everything. Ala moto, wanyama, ala apartment, like that lanyaki apartment, credit card ambi, halis bineka si bank bi, he didn't have a trustee, or somebody that can, a power of attorney, somebody that can take this money out. He doesn't know. In that situation, Sarjo, is there any option, advice? What do you think that person may need to do? Credit card bi mom nyaka nako. All the other things, apparently apartments and everything, you are going to lose eventually if you don't pay them for 5-6 months. But what advice would you have in that situation?
The only thing, a bank account, a credit cards, some of them might be secured, what they call secured credit or whatnot, depending on. But let's say a credit card, 30,000 credit card limit, and then let's say he used about 10-15, meaning he has a debt of about 10,000, 15,000 credit card companies. And then I moved to a bank account. Whether he likes it or not, they would file actions in court, even in his absence, try to get those money. Credit card companies would come after you, either through these collection agencies or sell their debt to attorneys. At this moment, what I always advise people, if you are on a removal order list, near more trust, you understand, it's a power of attorney dealer, or if you are married, dealer spouse. In Gambia, this is a sensitive area. People don't like to do it. But it's very important to have joint account with your wife, joint account with survivorship rights. And if something happened to you, automatically your wife joint ownership just expanded, and then they have access to the account. No credit card companies would garnish that as if to support you. But now, if it's only in your name, and then you are in Gambia, and then now all these problems happen. Let's say you are on a car note, and then you fail to pay, which they would use the car as the collateral. But if that doesn't satisfy the judgment, balance maybe they would sue you for the remainder. So, accounts, they can freeze it. And then at the end of the day, you might not even be able to get those money in your account. And then now I just saw, 5 days ago, this thing came up out of nowhere. I saw an alert from Chase Bank saying that, a proposed rule, they always keep the user agreement. I don't sign it without reading it. And then I was reading it, and then there's a new change that just became effective, I think, in September, saying that any person, if you have an account in the U.S. with Chase Bank, and then you happen to leave, you end up passing away in Gambia, coming like any country outside the U.S. you cannot get access to that account without having that death certificate being probated here. That process, lawyer fee dambang, kabringaje, it was so scary. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's about time I add my sister to my account.
So you
don't want to go for December holiday, and then you just die there, and then
and all of a sudden, yes. So
you can't touch those things. Even they bring this, and now you have to go through probate, and then before you could get those money.
You see, that's very important, Sarjo. What you just mentioned. Us Gambians, we don't like to read, and it's very important. We keep on signing stuff, signing without actually knowing. Just like the guy was saying about President Barrow, it's kind of a little funny, but we like to sign things without actually reading. And you just made mention of it. Even the banks, they are trying to catch us somehow so that they'll be able to. Because like Sarjo said, you will spend a lot of time, to actually, and resources to get this thing taken care of. It's very important. But let's go to our women, Sarjo. Nyaka tota, haraf, jigen ni de haraf, fini. Not long ago, I saw you put out a post about that. Is there any change in the law about circumcision, female circumcision or female genital mutilation in the U.S., and how does that affect our people?
Well, still now, when in terms of asylum, people are filing, based on this horrible harm that happened to them, it's still cognizable. Unfortunately, under Jeff Sessions came with a law, a matter of AB, where domestic violence is no longer cognizable, coming in spousal battery, mostly from Southern America. Most of those asylums seekers, they file claims based on domestic violence and then common law marriage, spousal battery, and then Sessions is saying that that's not a cognizable basis. But interestingly, that decision Kasinga, affect in terms of FGM or HARAF for African people of sub-Saharan Africa, because basically the argument is these things or these alleged harms happen because of immarila membership in your ethnic group or cognizably even religion. So it's not just a domestic relationship. So at least it survived. But now in 2015, Gambia, courageously passed the Women Amendment Act.
I was going to ask you
so banning FGM. So now that's a weapon the government use here in terms of their argument. The argument is now, it depends on cases how they, arise. Now, if you have an applicant from the Gambia or Senegal or from, Guinea-Conakry or whatnot, someone who suffered, past persecution, meaning they have undergone this horrible harm. For those people, at least, with the medical report, you can, you'll be able to meet your initial threshold, burden under the law. Now, government lawyers, they can always argue because of that fundamental change in Gambia, that change in law, there should be no well-founded fear of future persecution, so which means they should still deny you asylum. That's the fight now, like a tragedy for most of these people. But, of course, if the harm was so severe, you would still qualify for humanitarian asylum. You can still escape on that. Those people, there's still hope. And then, of course, credibility matters. And then the other argument would be, since 96, FGM was criminalized in Senegal. And it's still, viable cause of action. So Gambia, the whole thing would come to how that law is enforced. Right now, we don't have pure mechanism, enforcement mechanism. I wish we can, but from a personal standpoint, forget the asylum. I think, the only way we can actually drive FGM out, it has to be an attitudinal change with us, the generation, you understand, to take an affirmative step to stop it. But other than that.
But then, Sarjo, with our people, just like what we said at the beginning, a lot of our people get scared about things that are being said and being rumored, or certain things that happen, and we just jump to conclusion. So when that law was being passed, I saw a lot of Gambian women here who actually, whose only resort or option of getting benefits or getting their situation adjusted, their only waiver was actually to apply for asylum under the FGM category. And at the end of the day, Jamaya Mira Nubari Range Fogne, well, it's no longer available. So are you saying that it's still possible for one to file?
Yeah, it's still a cognizable case. It depends on, it's still viable. It doesn't stop FGM. The question becomes, whether you have a better preparation for your case. Right now, especially with all what's happening, you in fact need, assistance of a counsel to help you, prosecute FGM cases. Now, it's going to be a different story. Let's say I am, 25, 30, or even 40-year-old, someone from the Gambia, no past harm on FGM, none in my family members. And then my argument is now I'm filing because I'm afraid with this law, more than likely, your case would go to court. I don't think asylum office will grant. They would refer it to court, at least give the government an opportunity to argue. So it all depends on where you live. Is it because asylum, what people fail to understand is a subjective and objective test. Subjective part is, do you genuinely believe that this harm would happen to you? If you do, credible testimony is enough. Of course, put in a reasonable person in your suit. Objective standard.
Actually, I don't mean to cut you short, but a lot of people argue. How does that work? Is it because it happened to you? That's why you are filing. You're gonna be hurt, or sometimes is it because you have a female kid that you think that if the person goes back, your female kid goes back to the Gambia, they are gonna be harmed. Which is which?
No, the harm must happen. It depends. Asylum, you can get it because you suffered past harm or you fear future harm.
Okay.
So Melia and Lonko, they suffered past harm. They already underwent FGM. They're saying, look, this happened to me. I already suffered the harm. So what is the cases, even with a medical testimony, before this new Women Act, it's almost, a slam dunk. It's very favorable. Unless in credibility, hot. You understand it? You would have a visa application, and then they come and impeach you, thinking that maybe you, in fact, those things, unless those things come negative factors. But absent that, you have a very, very strong case. Now, even Nunto, Melia Lanko, they don't even undergo FGM. If they are saying, look, I fear that if I go back, I would go without no legislation in the Gambia, and then the prevalence of FGM in Gambia, it's still a very good case, strong cases. You understand? But now with this new law, and then what most people may understand, because asylum since 96, when IRA was enacted, you must file within 1 year of arrival. So let's say in Temu Musoti from Gambia, and then Natajang, and then I had past FGM. Ma file 1 year and done. You understand? And then you were here for 3-4 years. Then you demuso soro. So that demuso is a trigger. Just restart your clock. But you cannot argue asylum file because because since 2008, matter of 80, you can never file derivative asylum claim based on the Dingola code. They would just deny you. You understand? That's just the law. But Dingoning Ibo usually as a trigger, a clock. Because look, something new happened in my life. A change circumstance. But this new change, what clocking, I can tell correct. You just go on your own again.
Okay.
You file again based on the family past persecution. You just want to excuse that 1 year pre asylum also.
No.
You understand?
Okay.
Of course, you can argue that in the sense that look, so you want the court to be sympathetic to the potential harm within. Now, of course, in 6th Circuit, there is a case law. Any mother who is faced with a clear danger of FGM, they qualify as a refugee, but that's only in the 6th Circuit. But that case, Hanisa and government argue because you call a case because it's a Somalian case, and Dinonyo was not an American citizen, so in Bama Mutana Vitale. So there was a case law that came after that case trying to distinguish it. Okay, Nintendo American. Amanjara didn't wait her, even though Barney did not have the Aldino guardian in Ajam, or the other family member, Bada Maimu. So there were 2 cases from Jeng is from Senegal. Yeah, Jeng denied specifically because I didn't want US citizenship and my uncle also didn't want to do Melbourne. That was the Jeng case against Holder, and then that was a recent case. So it depends.
You are watching Gambian Talents TV. Pa Usman Juf behind the mic. My guest is lawyer Sarjo Barrow, and we are talking about American immigration and how it affects us Gambians. Musa Kurubari said, very constructive dialogue. This is what is needed. Thank you very much, Musa Kurubari. We have Yusuf Ature said, remember too, some of us Russians are Gambians, so can we have a number for Russia to call? That would bring me to appeal for help. For those of you that are watching, our platform is a public broadcasting network, of course, registered as a non-profit, and we definitely appeal to you. Those of you that are watching, those of you that are following us, it is through your help that we are able to actually finance this institution to be able to continue to produce the programs that we bring for you guys. So For those of you watching on Facebook, if you look right next to the comment section, you will see a green tab that has a love sign, a heart in it. If you click on that, it will tell you to support Gambian talents, and you can subscribe to our channel by donating to us by contributing $5 every month. It doesn't matter where you are. Those $5 subscriptions, of course, will help us. Facebook realized that we spend a lot of time and resources to produce these programs, that having sponsors for Gambia is definitely a big deal, and as a result, they want us to be able to sustain what we do. As a result, they ask us. All the programs you see from Gambia. Yesterday, you were watching the demonstration that happened at the National Assembly. This morning, you guys watch the budget speech by the Minister Mamburenjai at the Assembly. I mean, we bring you a lot of programs from the Gambia, live and direct from our studio, the interviews we have, the events by the Gambian musicians, and other religious programs that are happening. The Christians, of course, just last week, we were in Kunkujang Mariama on Sunday to cover that event for you. Christmas and New Year are coming. We have the Semester Avenue show right now. Our religious programs, earlier you saw it, and it will be nice for us to continue producing these programs. It costs money, it costs resources. The cameras we buy, the microphones we buy, the headphones we buy, the lights we buy, and the credit we buy, and of course paying the staff that bring you these programs. So by donating to us $5 every month, those telephone numbers you are talking about, matter of fact, we pay for those $10 every month for each number. So having 4 or 5 numbers is $50 every month that we are spending just for those, plus the calls that we make. So please help by contributing for us. The show is live. 678-608-3322 for those of you that are in America. Sarjo Barrow, I ask you, if the state you live in America has any impact, because some people think, oh, Seattle mo gena bah, wala haral madem Atlanta, haral madem New York. No, New York during the deport ken, haral madem fele. The state or county you live in, does it have any impact on applying for, when you apply for a benefit or a relief, or it doesn't? Because they was sanctuary city. What is a sanctuary city, and is it helpful to live in a sanctuary city?
We use the term, but legally there is no such thing as a sanctuary city. In fact, it's illegal to harbor, alien smuggling. They sue Catholic churches, file suit against them. But I know states use it as we are a sanctuary city. What they are trying to say is, look, federal government, we are not going to enforce your immigration laws for you. Cities can do that, counties can do that. They can be like, okay, we're not going to do an immigration check for you, So meaning if I'm driving in New York or Seattle where, they don't do immigration check or stops, even if I have a removal order, it wouldn't affect me. They would never report me to ICE, So it depends where you are. That's what the concept we mean. But it doesn't actually mean the law doesn't apply there. The law actually applies everywhere. And then
so living in Seattle does not help you. So I mean, in New York, removal proceeding, you are deport, you are on an order of deportation or supervision. Moving to Seattle, which is a sanctuary city, or California, is not going to help you, right?
No, okay, if you run into federal agents, because they have federal agents over there, and then maybe they might be looking for you, especially with someone with a removal order. If you had prior contact with ICE before, and then you could rest be assured that maybe you are already under a program called supervision. So if you're supposed to report, they don't see you, of course, they would start looking for you, or they could give you a name to what they call the fugitive task force. They will come look for you. And then that's what they do. And then some of them, it just depends. Some people might be lucky, they don't come after them, but it doesn't mean, just because you live in one city, that's why. Maybe they are overworked or they have more priority cases. Eventually, they would come after you when they have time. But
you use that word fugitives, and it just reminded me of my case back in the days when I moved from North Carolina and I was ordered deported in absentia. I didn't know about it. I was in Atlanta and they just came to pick me up. So it was that fugitive, whatever body you talked about, they're the ones that came for me actually back in 2008. So
yeah,
so moving to Atlanta wasn't helpful at all. It didn't take care of any situation, and I think it's important for our people to know some of these things, Sarjo.
Yeah, the only thing in courts, of course, those will cost, like if you are in Texas. Now, if you're in court, that makes a difference. And then you want to be in New York, where states that are a little bit more liberal. You want to be in California if you're in court, because the likelihood the judges, they would be more sympathetic to immigrants. you don't want to be in Texas, or you don't want to be in Atlanta, you know, or Charlotte, North Carolina, you know, or, you know, you don't want to be there for asylum cases. Almost they deny, if the nation, you know, like New York, most judges are given 70-80% approval rate, you know, and then you go to Texas or Atlanta, it's almost 85% denial rate. It's the reverse, complete reversal.
Okay.
You know, so those things, yes, you want to forum stop, of course. If you have to,
so it doesn't matter. You can apply anywhere. You can transfer your case. You have a pending case in New York. You can always move to Seattle and transfer it there. Is that possible? Or do you have to wait?
Anywhere you move, you will file for a change of venue to make sure your case follow up, you know, where you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Social media. I remember October 5th of last year, 2017, they came up with this new policy, of course, where they will start using social media to look for stuff. And from the report that I heard, they were even going to look at your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even your Google search, just by going to Google and searching some keywords. All of those could be used from what I saw. What can you tell us about that?
Just be, you know, conscious of what you put on your pages, because if you are applying for a benefit now, this supplemental questionnaire, either for non-immigrant visa or immigrant visa, they can ask you to complete that. And then now almost, I have cases in Senegal where 7-year-old kids, they give them that supplemental questionnaire. I was like, are you for real? Like 7 years old, you know, you want to know, you know, how many telephone numbers they use, every social media platform they've been on, their usernames. I was like, they're 7 years old.
So what type of information, though, if they say they look at our social media, what type of information are they looking at? Are they looking for?
I don't know. Possibly things that would make them think that, you know, you might be a security threat, or in the opinion of the Attorney General, that, you know, you should not be granted, they should just deny you entry into the U.S. because of security or terrorist-related issues. You know, so they have broad discretion. So that's the only thing. Are you someone who is prone to, I guess, gullible to these other, you know, issues, or are you someone who might harm the U.S.? You know, so they would look for that propensity, like someone, you know, we want to weed out potential people that will harm the country before they even get here. So that's the only rationale I can think of, or some other things that would.
So if you are making threats or writing certain statements on your Facebook post, I mean, just having fun or sharing certain things, let's say discriminatory statements against people, things like that, would those things be, would it be things like that they will be looking at?
Possibly, and then it depends. But I know they would look everything in context. That I believe that even potential bars, like maybe your social media account could bring that you have 3 wives, and then your application only have 1, and that could be a basis to deny you. So you don't know. Or you supposedly joining your husband, and then you already had 2 weddings on your, people are congratulating you in Gambia for some marriage that doesn't even look like your husband. Or your kids. I mean, it's hard to say, you know. Okay.
So in short, let's be careful.
Or just make sure whatever information you put just put truthful information on your social media. That way you don't have to worry about what is there. Just be you. It's always, you know, you might not remember details, but the truth is always easy to remember. That's something you fabricate.
So, talking to you last time, when you coming back, you travel to Gambia and you are coming back. It's December. A lot of our brothers and sisters are going for holiday. If somebody goes to Gambia and they are coming back, and for some reason they get stopped by immigration for whatever reason, what would be an advice for those people? Let's say they want to get you inadmissible for one reason or the other, whether a social media or it's a security threat or something. How should you respond to immigration? Should you comply with them? They ask you for your phone, you give them your phone, ask you for your email or passwords to your stuff. Should you give them this information? Should you answer all their questions that they are asking you? What should you do?
If you're, it depends on how you wanted to treat it. I always tell people to be careful. If the question is designed solely for admission purpose, trying to find out whether you are admissible, you know, like, okay, where have you been? You know, how long were you there? And then those kind of things. Yes, you know, those questions I would answer, but you don't have to go more, you know. If you are not sure, you are better off exercising your right not to speak. And then if they wanted to open your device, tell them, you know, look, must I, you know, give you my phone? You know, are you requiring me to do so? Because I'm not going to consent to it, even though, you know, the law is that, you know, border search and seizures are considered administrative search. But I rather reserve my right and then have you violate it than, you know, just voluntarily turn things that are like, you know, are you requiring me? If you're asking me to volunteer, no, I'm not going to volunteer. But if you insist that I must do it, I'll put it right, yeah. But at least you make sure you put that record. And then other than most people I suspect are permanent residents. So those people, at least you have some due process right. I'm not going to talk to you, period. You know, other than anything that has to deal with pure admission. But if you start, you know, going on a fishing expedition, asking all these things, I would just respectfully decline. Like, look, I would rather talk to my attorney first. Even though, of course, the law says that only citizens have right to lawyers at border entries. But as a permanent resident, they're not going to refuse you entry. The worst they can do, put you in proceeding. So what? Be it. Because they still have to prove that you are removable. So don't give them anything. So your lawyer might easily just file a motion to terminate. And they're not going to hold you there forever. Because you are not a mandatory detainee. So you are better off at least comply. You can't yell at them because they are not going to give up authority. But if they're asking you, how long were you outside? And then I would answer that question, oh, I left, okay, where were you? Yes, how long were you there? Have you committed any crime while you were outside? No. Those things goes to admission. Maybe they are trying to see whether you are admissible or not. Those limited things. But once they start going to, you know, what were you doing on Facebook, or those questions go, you know, things that you don't understand, just decline to answer those.
So how about if they want to get into some of the things, let's say they see that, okay, you have a DUI crime or you have a domestic violence crime and those things pop up for some reason and they want to bring that up to you. Should you answer those questions?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. If they ask, you know, let's say they ask a question like, have you ever been arrested? You know, that would be yes. You know, what happened? I'm not going to disclose everything. I'm like, look, I don't feel comfortable sharing the detail of the arrest, but yes, I do have that. Period. That's where I would end. Or, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you want to avoid making a misrepresentation that can come back and hurt you. Because they would have those things, because they have your biometrics and everything. They, you know, they have access to all of those things. Now, sometimes there are certain crimes, if you commit here and then you leave the country, if you come back, you would trigger inadmissibility. Maybe that's the reason why they are asking for that. But you don't want to give them something that's not even part of that crime. So I'm like, have you? Yes. And then what happened? Tell us, no, I'm not comfortable discussing that with you.
Okay.
You know,
a lot of us think if we have a green card, I mean, permanent resident, we are good to go. Is that so? Is a license for us to start acting irresponsible or having a carefree attitude or doing whatever. Is that so?
Well, you are a permanent resident, yes, but the same way you secure permanent resident, the government can actually put you in removal proceeding and take it away from you. The only way you can be so if there is no removability grounds, you know, under 237, because there is this statute of limitation, what they call rescission. Let's say you get your green card in some other way you're supposed not to, and then the government never prosecute to take the green card from you until after 5 years. You have the statute of limitation applies. They can never take the green card away from you. But if you are removal proceeding, there is no statute of limitation. They can do it anytime. So green card is not a mean to an end.
Okay. So how about citizens, people that have citizenship?
Citizenship, at least that one, you know, if you have it, your right attached. The only way they would take that from you, meaning there must be some kind of fraud or illegality or a material misrepresentation in procuring the citizenship. But absent that, or if you get it under the Military Citizenship Act, and then you are not a person of good moral character, I think within 3 or 5 years, they can actually rescind it because they expedite those people. But other than those issues, once you have those things, you always get it.
So your crime as a citizen has to be related to how you acquired the citizenship, but not, let's say, you having a DUI or domestic violence or something else, if I understand.
No. If you're a citizen and then you kill somebody, it doesn't matter. I mean, well, it matters in the sense that you spend the rest of your life in jail, or if you're in somewhere else, they can kill you, but that doesn't affect, that doesn't have anything to do with the way you procure citizenship. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Finally, Mr. Barrow, this issue of the social benefits that we have, I mean, when we come here Just like we said, some people come here and rely on the government for insurance. Obamacare definitely it's helping a lot of people. Some community health centers and clinics will help our people. Some people that would pay a co-pay of let's say $30 per visit or $10 a visit or $20 per visit, and the rest will be taken care of by the county or some non-profit. Or you have Obamacare as insurance, or you have food stamp benefits, housing benefits, and other benefits. There is an audio that is circulating on WhatsApp that's talking about people that are being arrested at the border or when they came back at the airport, etc. What can you tell us about this new policy?
Well, the whole law, if you look at it, the public charge, traditionally, what it used to be is like people who actually were dependent on government for more than 50%, or you have like a caste benefit, you receive certain caste benefit, then those are the people who the law would find you somehow inadmissible, and then you have an issue. But now, with these current charges, what the language that changed there says anyone who is likely to become a public charge, which means that's completely discretionary, you know. Now, people with this housing and then benefit, TANF, WIC and whatnot. USCIS officers, because if you're applying for green card or you are applying for citizenship, if they want, they can argue, inadmissibility on the public charge under Section 212, I think, 4D. Let's say they say that, look, we think that you are someone who is inadmissible because you are a public charge to the government. There's a criteria, there's a guideline they have to.
Will it be you've ever had it? Because some are arguing that if you ever had any public benefit, you can be inadmissible.
No, because if you look at it, people can go to USCIS and then they will see it over there. The law says that if you are someone who had it in the past, this is a factor. The factor there is not discretionary. Like the officers have to look at the factors. And then for some people, let's say you had it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? And then since then you never have, public benefit. So it will be difficult for the government to say that you will likely become a public charge in the future, because you don't have this benefit for so long. Just because you had it in the past doesn't mean it's a bright line rule that, they will just deny you. That's what people need to understand. So there's a factor, like a lot of factors that officers must look into, like your health, your age, and then family ties, all those things. Like Namero, Malayalam for 55, 60, you don't expect those people to work. Those things factor there. They are cognizant of those things. They put those factors there. People have to understand. They can't work anymore. They are 55, 60. So they will actually become public charge or the only base support. So those things are there. They are cognizant of that, and then these factors are there. So the officer will look into those factors. Now, for people, Malayalam, they take this benefit with green card, they leave the country. As long as you are coming back less than 6 months, you are not seeking admission. So it doesn't matter. You have benefit letter. Stop. But if you spend more than 6 months outside, if you are coming back, the law says you are seeking admission. So those things will come into play. The worst that can happen is, Haniko, you are inadmissible. Not the is green card, they can NTA you. They'll just let you go home. They would have to prove that green card, but the idea that jail with that audio, I don't know how, it has to do with something other than that. That's what I know of.
So if you had food stamp or WIC in the past, it is not recipe for you to be deported or for your legal status to be taken away.
No. That's a statement like that would in fact be wrong.
So how about if you have it currently?
If you are receiving it currently, it depends. Let's say I'm in fact totally dependent on the government, right? And then everybody agree that I'm a public charge. But if I do not leave the country and then I'm not applying for any citizenship benefit, it doesn't matter unless the government come after me affirmatively trying to take my green card, and then they would have to prove something. You understand? The only time these issues come into play is if you apply for admission. Let's say more permanent resident, you are completely dependent on the government, and then you deliberately apply for citizenship, then it comes up. So that's the time it would be an issue seeking or in deportation proceeding. But need to take a green card, you are content with that, and then if you travel, you don't do more than 6 months. When you are coming back, you are not triggering admission requirement. So no one is reviewing whether you are admissible or not. It doesn't matter. I mean,
so it has to be 50% or more. You have to be dependent on the government.
No, but now they put a lot of these factors, so it's difficult. That's why the law is so vague. More than likely, you have a challenge ballot because they just put like likely to become a public charge. Who is likely? Okay. If they're receiving one benefit here, or are they, if they are receiving more than 10%, 15%, no, cash benefits or people who are, normally 50% dependent on the government. Those are traditionally the one. The interpretation, but now it has changed. So am I enforceable? We'll see what happens. I haven't seen a real test case yet in my practice, so hopefully not.
A lot of things happening under Donald Trump. You think America is a safe place to live for immigrants to live now?
Yeah, I still think it's safe. The future is bright because we have, courts are very much independent here, and then due process is adhered to. So at least going to safely, that's our only, drop line. Left to come in executive power is supposed to know. We would have seen something different. The only thing that kept us going, and then in Safonofanaco, the only thing that fair, well for immigrant is because the courts are strong, they are independent, and then, due process, I got respect. That's the only thing, that's our only fighting power we have right now.
Your final words to our viewers and listeners. We've been here for almost 2 hours, but we've exhausted some very important topics. Or you have anything else that you think it's important, message that you want to share? Or is there any particular thing that I know I hear and get calls and messages from people about some of these things, not only for America, but even Germany and Europe. Like I said, that's why we put the question to the ambassador a couple of days ago. But in your case, is there, I know you receive a lot more messages since you are an attorney, you are a counsel. Is there any other thing that you want to address? Sometimes I see you write on your page that, hey, I cannot do this. I cannot come and talk to all of you at once. But hey, I will come and talk to you guys through this platform or that platform, or do this or do that. So what other thing do you think you want to talk about, if there is any?
No, the fake rumor, like this audio on WhatsApp, when it get out, people are sending it to everybody. My thing is, when you are in doubt, don't be cheap for your own thing. More without every state there are lawyers. Go see a professional, pay them their consultation fee and then ask them. At least you'll get the right information. I understand. And then that's important to, if you're in doubt, pay the right professionals. Sit. Nila Kodo is not valid enough to ascertain Nila Fianco. It doesn't, any consequences you have later, you can't blame people about that. That's my thinking. So if you're in doubt, ask for, expert opinion. Taye Meliana, they are the professional lawyers. Meet them, ask them their questions and everything. And then if you can do that, reach out to people. The lawyers provided pro bono. Ask them questions. Sometimes it takes time for me to respond to any inbox. But if people send it to me, I do my best to answer. That's one thing. And then the other thing is, know your immigration status. And then you should know, this is like one of those self-realization checks you need to do. Check your status. If you know there is no hope legally, start planning some things for yourself. Don't sit here. The blame game is not going to help you out, because one way or the other, I promise you, the law will catch up to you. And then even to a lawyer, we're going to do much about it. And then before you realize it is too late, you end up blaming, and then it will be late. It's just like being in high school, and then you don't want to be, sober with your studies. By the time you know it's grade 12, and then you cannot undo it. And this is real. It's tough. It's difficult. My prayer, but assess your situation. There is no hope. Have a contingency plan. Don't wait until it caught up to you, and then the blame game. Life will continue. People will move on. And then social media, I can promise you, it's only 15 seconds fame. Then people will talk about you, make like, they empathize or work with you. I can promise you that only lasts for a day or two if you're lucky. At the end of the day, you come back to people like us, and what can we do? Because Melka Wurife, it's blame the government. It's not going to take you anywhere. Because, they just do it for a purpose, day or two, and then they are out.
was going to ask you to actually summarize the few things we discussed in Mandinka, and I'll do it in Wolof for the purpose of people that don't speak, because these are key issues that we talk about, like the issue of FGM and the social media and this public charge. If you can summarize that in Mandinka. Yes, if you can summarize that in Mandinka.
Maybe we'll have to set up another Mandinka show with Wolof translation, maybe sometimes next week or so. Because I have some work to do too.
Just 5 minutes, Sarjo, for it's important. I'm recording that to actually send it out on WhatsApp, because it came out and a lot of people are freaking out about it. Just like you said, we have our mothers here who are our mothers. Ngambama soto janne mele alonko. I mean, they are here. Walam famal mele alonko inatale ibe sirinjang, and of course they are depending on the government, like you said. So if they hear things like this, it be freak out. So for the purpose of those people, don't afomandia kangola dukare.
Yeah, come in Bemben Foka, well, and coming like first and first, I need Kibaro Moy. Go yet a mullinica, Melialanco, Ibo Dokola, ye Kumo Bondi and Yota Yafaham. You understand? Because in Nicobilla Mola Fancola, Gambian Drunk Makilimo, WhatsApp, Fanco, Yakamaka viral, Makila Noe, there is no credibility in Benoki Jofar, and what if I want to stop? You understand? Yakumo Malala, send it to someone who professional. If I hey, can you know or I send to the platform at all member Jenia Kialena look. You never focus, reach out to the right people, Yininka, for you Mutonia, the Banjanin Benyo Falakifarola community in Yukon. You understand those things. And then near verify quality Yalanko, how does it affect you? Come to be from Mapenology Yame. So Molkajima for the Africa Demarota Mansabulu. You understand? Demarota Mansabulu doesn't mean Ko ni Demarota Mansabulu Villa Kaito lose the green card. Loa is up to later. Now, Momea and Jambakaro be able and the Betima Rotaka Masakunda, it didn't Masakunda heavily. Let's see if I take a ball will be depending Masakundaka. Loak anything to the Banco Banta, a Banco Banta for more than carry water, even Murkana. Akamata Dani roll Nakota Purkadum. Akamata Bunda Soron take command. Loak anything to the Janin carry water, Bundaka to Yelena, and Nebukasoro. But I need to the Banta for more than carry water, Akamata Bunda Soron, in a Rebecca Condrolacala, Melbecon of Fayabula Kaduna. But Jambakare Tiol, Handyman Bunda Yele, quoted Nola. Because Yamera Komi Masakundala be the Danica. It a bino la corda upon. It get to parent Jimbanla, if a suitio la Kumadila Nalena for Katapu, but Mode sending la corda bandala. That's what it actually meant in Yaji with the whole something. So Mode defended the band. It's a phone and it made a bantala. Come in Nico, Nita Sada Conot, 10 years as walk on the Niman not 10 in the Bella Banta. Kodakon a bella, but come in Bunko maybe tell her how. Nifono Katasina for Sadaku. We don't forget to like that's what it actually means basically. Or Nima Rebija Matra citizenship apply can make sure or at least but Lua Fan for Jedol BJB, Sanjo Gibele, like Kebayal, Anila Doku Fianco, Kajibe, for you found Yatan Lua from apply later. You understand? Nemo me do coca after Ninkea, I think for the Masakunda for the certain age. Of course, Masakunda and Yata take care of them. That's the bargain. What are you paying the Social Security and all these Medicares and whatnot? So they will look into that because it afforded on Danko driver because he contributes to it. Yeah, Joel, it do like you know, so Luaka Adula Belgium, Maka Comia Becala just one thing.
Elabanta Memfola Tubabu Kangoto, Walemuko, Nibejang, Adong, a yela. For example, you are on immigration proceedings. Ilafite say indila yefen kumar imbale fo isa fo no nyamandinka kangoto drong inyanta mekala nata ite alonne ko sainde ite man sila soto pour ibe kayto soto no la nyame nyimbanko kan inyanta munekela lawyer Sarjo Barrow.
Come momo nyanta na la subieso no benyame. Ni tare ni loyal kachade ko look bankola loi en men fo ite o handi bijana fo sanji kemi ni de kayto soto no la frank. You understand? O ko tema. So ite nyanta plan la ko okay look Masakunda is a matter of time jani be futa lamba. Sa inde be mine keno la kam fam ma ko fo mba make sure la jani be muraya nga ku ke woto. O mbe na plan be kala minute nga say. Nde ko ko mole but kana si yere la ya ko ambe tula jane manta say la because Masakunda ta kayto dila. O manya na kala plan. Because loi mu loi jate ntol jate sude ya jala jamanke sude andon loi ni na te noma ibe send eventually mo jamanke to wala lonna ya jala so ni de see that you wato but for loi catch up to you and they send wala ka mo jama batande because he ma plan and we take see knowledge and ni see de kuma ta ko okay be man sa ko dala blame la be ni blame la mel kana ka denk lo mu defé wala kirkelen telephone la ni la wala haji de kay de balon la ni la next batch but ni wona ta ko ten be ke advocate ko de ye filiji bari nyante ma ko la time mo men tokal so nko le fo mo jamaay nak ko ni te ya lon ko la status betene ni tekeno la e fan de ma yekuke bare ni to ko be lola le for last minute ku yekela then yena blame game ke tele be batala because I can promise you mel fonka bala fe tili kelina rek wol nyina tela wol man genuine bala fa sote e be fil la jel and we be continue la bal wala le jamal se da Gambia February March I'm so kabiri media way media hype me sort of February March moli amro dama nekata hani bin to lembe ndu ko lan to ngala na suda tili molla bungol kono be duri na molbe murukan bare la media man to bondika hani media forma murukata o modol nyine kay la balobe nyaade mol nyina tela we use it as a political point nyina tela so on to ko moli so mol bole kala ye fili tele be batal yeah so it's unfortunate, it's sad, but wala be kala mari la nyaade fam la ko to patola, don't rely on anyone.
Woto kumata bake lawyer Sarjo Barrow, abaraka bake, we appreciate you coming on the platform to talk to us. Abaraka bake.
Thank you pa.
Mbokk yi ñoo déglu di ñu seetaan yéen a ngi seetaan Gambian Talents TV Pa Ousman Diouf nekkal leen ci gannaaw microphone bi lawyer Sarjo Barrow mooy suñ guest tey of course dégg ngeen ko lim fi jot a wax dégg ngeen waxtaan biñ am ak Sarjo it's important to note li nga xam ne moom la fi wax yëpp dégg ngeen ne ñu ngi ko doon laaj ci digganteem ak American immigration li nga xam ne moo nekk di go on si jamono ji liñ nekk di wax ne Gambians yi dañ leen nekk di wala immigrants yi nekk America fii nii kon dañ nekk di am problème si dëkk bi fii nii loolu lañ doon waxtaan ak moom nii kon dégg ngeen li nga xam ne moom la fi jot a tontu li nga xam ne moo génn ci weer yiñ passé nii mooy ne dafa am loi bu ees bi ñu wax ne dafa génn am ku defar audio sax nag ci WhatsApp bi di wax ne Gambian si wala African si wala immigrant si nekk bitim réew te ñi nga xam ne ci nguuri America lañ depend nguuri America ñoo leen a toppatoo ñoo leen a jox ñu lekk li ñoo wax food stamp wala ñoo leen jox fiñ dëkka wala ñoo leen jox insurance pour suñ feebaree ñu mun a dem lopitaan wala dafa am xaalis boo xam ne dañ la ko dee jox li ñu dee wax cash benefit every month pour ngay dem ñu laa dogal check di la ko jox wala vouchers ñu ne kat soo génnee dëkk bi ñëw dañ laa jàppa lawyer Sarjo Barrow dàqana loolu mu ne loolu kat du lu am loi bi Donald Trump dafa wécci loi bi ñëwee ne koo xam ne am nga bénéfice yooyu dinañ seet sa affaire kisi ko war nañoo mën a seet sa affaire kon war nañoo mën a seet sa affaire soo nekkee likely public charge bu njëkka li nekkoon si loi yi jamono ñoom Obama ak ñooñu loi bi dafa waxoon ne kat su fekkee ne yow da nga depend si government bi 50% mooy yow sa dunda suñ ko seetee sa xaaji dunda genn wàllu dunda gi nguur gi ñoo la amee sa bil si yëpp soo ko dajalee wala li nga am yëpp sa ferement yi ci weer wi su fekkoon ne $1 la juróomi téeméer bi yëpp genn wàll gi nguur gi ñoo la ko ameel yow su boobaa war nañoo mën a seetaat sa affaire pour ñu nangu sa kayit wala su fekkee ne da nga am kayit da nga nekk am let's say passport naka green card nga bugg a kayit citizenship passport war nañ laa mën a deny based on loolu su leen neexee waaye Donald Trump dafa ñëw wecc ko léegi dañ faxas loolu ñoom ñu indi bu ees ne su fekkee ne ñoom foog nañ ne yow nguur gi war nañ laa mën a amee wala yow ci nguur gi nga bugg a depend pour ñu war a mën a nangu loolu sa loxo so kon loolu du lu taxaw mu ne su fekkee ne da nga tukki nga dellu si waat te defuloo lu mut juróom benn weer bitim réew soo dellu si waatee li ñoo wax admissibility yow dafa mel ni bunta yaa ngi ibbeeku pour yow soo ñëwee dañuy seet sa dossier rek jox la waaye soo fa defee lu mut juróom benn weer ak lu ko ëppa soo ñëwee dañ la war a admitaat dafa mel ni foog am ku la ibbil bunta yi xaal la yoon wi pour nga dugga su boobaa nag mun nañoo gestu lii ñu kisi ko te mun na laa lor waaye su fekkee ne yow am nga sa citizenship ba pare wala yow green card nga amee sax te yow amuloo benn benefit soxlawuloo immigration amuloo ñoom affaire lijjanti wuloo leen apply loo si ñoom benefit soxlawuloo leen ci dara kon li affectud la kon loolu lu am solo la pour ñu xàmmee ko pour ñu ràññee ko loolu mooy li nga xam ne moom la Sarjo Barrow wax ci loolu ñaareeli mbir mi nga xam ne wax na ko muy affaire yi social media muy Facebook beeg Instagram beeg Twitter beeg Snapchat geeg ñoom seen ne léegi nguuri America dañ commencé di gestu loolu mu ne moom am na kiis bu mu xam koo xam ne ñu am juróom-ñaari at sax ñu war leen a dugalal kayit amin nga leen a laaj ñu ne façon yi téléphone number boo mos a am yëpp bugga nañoo xam téléphone number boobu loolu pour ñu gestu sa affaire la su dee benn téléphone number ñaari téléphone number fukki téléphone number nga mos a am si sa life sa giiri dunda bugga nañoo jot téléphone number boobu noonu ñaareel ba sa Facebook social media su fekkee ne mburumu tooy nga tuddee Facebook su fekkee ne ranxa bisaab nga tuddee sa boppa su fekkee ne daj dëpp nga tuddee sa boppa wala loo munta tuddee sa boppa rek ci Facebook bi wala any other platform ñu ngi laa laaj nga joxe tur yooyu noonu so ñaari mbir yi ñu laa laaj muy supplementary application form bi mooy sa tur yi nga mos a use yëpp ak téléphone number yi nga mos a use yëpp pour ñu gestu sa affaire kisi ko ñetteel bi mu tëjee mooy soo xamee sa boppa nit ku nekk war ngaa xam sa boppa war ngaa xam ndax yow war ngaa mun a am kayit si réew mi ndax war looy mun a am kayit su dee def nga fi benn at ñaari at fukki at ñaar fukki at fanweeri at ñetta fukki at te mu óor la ne yow li nga war a lijjanti yépp lijjanti nga ko waaye mënulooy am kayit si réew mi for some reason jeexal nga takk yow amuloo jabar wala jëkkër ju la mun a fayal kayit yow mënulooy dugal benn façon ngi asylum parce que mënuloo koo proof yow amuloo dara loo mun a def pour am kayit ci réew mi fii dudut yàlla rek ngay xaar te fekk yaa ngi am deportation proceeding bul ko sàgganee jéema la def sa kéemtalaay kàttan nga seet naka ngaa mun a lijjantee pour génn si dëkk bi génnee sa bopp ndax lu mu yàgga dinañ la génnee ndax soo toogee di xaar ne nguur gi ngay blame comme li ñoo def lu bari comme ni ma ko waxee ne ñu ngi wax ne xale yi ñoo delloo Gambia nguuri Gambia dañ leen jox xaalis European Union dañ jox nguuri Gambia xaalis wax naa leen ne ambassadeur European Union bi dàq na loolu barki démba ne loolu amul ñoom joxuñ nguur gi xaalis pour ñu delloo si benn Gambia mu ne li óorta wóor mooy képp ku nekk Europe te amuloo benn kayit amuloo benn miin exhaust nga sa legal means yëpp dem nga si luwaa yoon yi la luwaa jox yëpp exhaust nga ko te mënatulooy am kayit su boobaa Europe dañ laa delloo si sa dëkk kon Sarjo loolu laa wax ni ne xeddee ko ci balaa ngaa lakkale su dee yow da nga toog mu óor la ne yow mënatulooy am kayit ci dëkk bi bul xaar gaay di la jël si commencé di def say am matuwaay di jël say matuwaay boppa soo nii dee su dee da nga fi amee ay oto ak yenn bagage yi soo ko waree jaay ko soo fi amee kër toppatoo ko soo amee ko óolu jël ko nga def ko power of attorney nga xam ne bés buñ la dellooyee wala suñ la jàppee moom dina la mun a faylal loolu noonu moom dina la mun a jàppale pour moom mu toppatoo la sa bagage yi su dee sa néeg la su dee sa kër la su dee loo amee woon sa biir néeg la wala loo xam ne da nga ko soxla value luñ la mun a yónnee Gambie ñu yónnee la ko luñ la mun a jaayal fii yónnee la xaalis bi ñu yónnee la ko raara dan nga toog noonu rek soo munee ñafe bu baax liggéey sa ñaari liggéey ñetti liggéey o whatever dajale xaalis pour préparer sa bopp balañ laa delloo jël noonu te fekk expect loo ko woon balañ laa delloo ji te expect loo ko woon kon nga jéem a préparer sa bopp xeddeekul ci balaa ngaa balaa ñoo toog di blame nguur gi ne nguur gi ñoo tax lii nguur gi ñoo tax lele mu ne social media Facebook bi yi xew ni yëpp tamit nit ñi dañ laa jàppale rek de benn fan ñaari fan dañ laa jàppale suñ la jàppee comme depuis March wala février Gambien ñu delloo woon ñu bari ñu ngi leen a delloo ba tey media bi leen toppoon di cover ndax media boobu ba tey ñu ngi leen a génnee media bi sax toppatu ñooñu dem si ñooñu seen kër yi seet seen affaire seet si liñ nekk ndax intégré nañ ci société bi ndax delluwaat nañ ndax ñu ngi si jàmm ndax media bi si boppam defatuñ ko social media ñi la doon jàppale yëpp ñu ngi continuer di dund seen life so yow soo toogee fii di blame government bi waxtu bu nekk wala foog ne social media buzz gi fa nekk ak li ñoo wax ci yow moo tax nga kontaan wala mooy li ñaa jàppale loolu is a temporary thing lii mooy li nga xam ne moom la Sarjo Barrow wax fii gannaaw bi nga xamee ne jot nañ xibaar yi wala laajte yi nga xam ne yéen a ngi ko doon laajte pour bugg a xam li xew suñ diggante ak nguur gi fii nii ak li nga xam ne mooy xew kon ñu ngi koo bëggee di ko gërëm bu baax a baax si waxtaan bi nga xam ne Sarjo def na ko fii ñu ngi koo gërëm di ko sant def nañ fi ñaari waxtu ak ñeneenti minute biñ fi toogee ba tey pour leeral yi nga xam ne moom lañ doon leeral yëpp ñu ngi leen ay bëggee di leen gërëm li ma leen wax si gannaaw rek yéen ñi ñoo seetaanee Facebook su ngeen seetee di ngeen gis benn button bu nekk foofu green button bi next to seen comment section bi green button boobu mooy pour ngeen subscribe $5 rek every month pour ngeen jàppale ñu pour ñu dépasse plateforme bi Gambian Talents $5 rombu $200 ku nekk ci yéen ñu nekk Gambia sax mun ngeen koo def su fekkee ne yéen ak ñoo bëggee su fekkee ne yéen a ngi kontaan ñu ngi leen a jàppale di leen xàmmeeloo di leen ràññee di leen indil professionnel seeg ñi nga xam ne ñoo xam pour ñu leen a jox xibaar yu wóor xibaar yu leer ñu ngi leen a ñaan pour ngeen jàppale ñu su ko defee plateforme bi gën a mun a dem kanam ñun public broadcasting network lañ nekkuñ commercial institution te for that reason yéen ñi ñuy seetaan yéen ñi ñuy déglu yéen ñi ñuy toppa yéen a ñu nekk di dépasse te di difference li nga xam ne moo utalee kii seetaan ak ki nga xam ne membre la ci public broadcasting network mooy contribution bi kon yéen lañ yaakaar pour ngeen jàppale ñu yéen a nekk di dépasse lii seen alal laa demee moo tax seen bët lañ bugg a xoolee seen gémmiñ lañ bugg a waxee seen noppa lañ bugg a dégloo kon jàppale leen ñu by supporting us by donating to us su ko defee ñu gën leen a mun a indil programme si comme ni ma ko waxee si gannaaw ñu ngi nii di am programme bi alias si bés bi indil nañ leen GPU programme bi fa amoon indil nañ leen budget speech bi si National Assembly bi démba demonstration bi fa amoon indil nañ leen ko lii ma wax leen si EU ambassador bi li mu wax indil nañ leen ko ST Birkama Boyo ak yeneen artistes bi ñooy launch seen album yi ñu indil leen ko weekend bu passé ñu nekkal leen loon Kunkujang Mariama pour suñ mbokki christian yi ñetti semaine si gannaaw ñu nekkaloon leen Dobson Street pour cover leen gàmmo imam Muntaxa Fay bi kon ñu ngi leen ay bëggee di leen gërëm leen santa Pa Ousmane Diouf moo leen nekkaloon si gannaaw microphone bi share this video wala audio bi du la wàññi yow waaye dina yokk keneen ku ko déglu am na koo xam ne dina si mën a njëriñu ñu ngi leen ay bëggee di leen gërëm di leen santa fu ci waay nekk ci ñeneenti ko ñi àdduna penku xarpa ngopp wala ngalandu beñ dellu si waat fii ci beneen jamono jërë ngeen jëf.
Address current issues that are affecting our daily lives, such as relationship, marriage, addiction, lifestyle, and a lot more from a Christian perspective, as well as promote the gospel through dialogue and engagement with the general Christian fraternity. The Bible says in John 13:35, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, as you love one another." And this is exactly what we will do on this show. Make Christ known through our interactions. Our weekly TV show will be aired every Sunday from 1600 hours to 1700 hours on our 7 different mediums: GT website, Facebook, Wazi TV, SoundCloud, YouTube, just to name a few. To sponsor this show or be part of the live audience, please contact 7833-524, 7833-524, or 3750-731, 3750-731, or email us on gambiantalent@gmail.com. Remember, this is the first of its kind. We will feature latest Christian events. Be part of this phenomenal advent. Be part of kingdom building. Gospel Avenue with Rebecca Ngozi, only on Gambian Talents TV.
Nega geseng yang ngonje mamoi ngodoy julolo fennega geseng yang ngonje mamoi fonde ma foy dindin faloli minni bali dun ni sanjoti lole boyda dindin ifulanti yang Gambia talent promotional fulanti yang itolle be jambe nyaato Gambia talent promotion mun tolle tati alingi makoy e ka Gambia la londole pous nyaato niamoy Gambia talent promotion wala mandi ka kamala ka Gambia la londo sama nyaato ay wule ye déglu leen ko Gambian Talent amul morom dina la bégal waaw déglu leen